Hey y'all, and welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. Today I'm going to be playing with all things Kaleidos Makeup. They actually reached out to me and asked if they could send me some things from their brand, and I was like, oh my goodness, yes, I'd love to. At this point, I'd only ever tried the two of their eyeshadow palettes. Oh no, three of their eyeshadow palettes. So I was super excited, and I asked for kind of a variety of their products just to get a good feel for the brand. So I have a lot in front of me, and I was overwhelmed when I got their PR package. But I have eyeshadow palettes, I have cheek products, their blushes, their highlighters, their lip products, their lip masks, their brushes, their eyeshadow primer, and we're trying it all out on my face today. And I'm also answering some questions. I asked you guys like topics I can talk about in Get Ready With Me videos with older palettes. I'm just gonna kind of randomly go through and answer as I do my makeup. Huge thank you to Kaleidos Makeup for sending me all this makeup. Like I said, I was overwhelmed, could not believe how much they sent. I'm just, thank you so much. That's all I can say. Like, I just don't even know what to say. I'm so overwhelmed, but thank you so much. So let's get right into trying it all out, and let's just play with some makeup and chit chat about motherhood and being pregnant. Okay, I'm overwhelmed just looking at everything they sent me. Levi agrees, but let's start out with the lip mask. It's like a red tinted lip mask. I've heard great things about it. Okay, not too bad of a tint, and it's like super soft. I feel like just touching in I get too much. So we'll see. It's a lip mask, so I can't really speak much to like how it's gonna help, because I'm sure you have to wear it for longer than 30 minutes while I do my eyeshadow, but it feels nice. And I wanted to use it since they did send it, so I'll have to leave it here, and or maybe I'll put it beside my bed so I actually use it at night and it can sit all night and I can see how I like it. Okay, so they also sent me their eyeshadow primer, so we're gonna use that for sure. And let me go to my channel and grab the questions. Cute packaging, and like I like that it feels like a matte finish to it, almost like NARS packaging. It's tinted. I did not expect that. Let me get all this. I'm just gonna put a glob on each, very liquidy, thinner than like a concealer consistency. So I'm gonna blend it out with a brush. Okay, that blended out really nice. Nothing too heavy on my eye. Almost like a invisible kind of coverage, but it definitely gives a little tint. I feel like I'm washed out. Let me fix that. Hopefully I'm not too dark now. But let me grab the first question, and then we're gonna dive into the palette, which is so colorful and bold. I've been so excited to get into this. I'm just gonna go from the top. It's from Leah Miranda. It says, I realize it's only makeup, but how did you remain so calm when Levi was destroying your eyeshadow singles? In my 20s, and I would not have handled it well at all. In my 20s, I would not have handled it well at all. You are amazing. So this is referencing this video. I'm gonna have to find it, but when I was doing a first impressions video, Levi was behind me and he was in my purple eyeshadows, single eyeshadows, and just like scratching a bunch of them. He had purple all over his hands. So let me see what I want to do with this. There's not a whole lot of deep shades in here, like really deep dark shades. God bless you. God bless you. I think I'm going to start with this dark blue on the outer corner. I might deepen up with the purple. Anyway, so I'm technically not in my 20s anymore. I just hit 30, which is crazy to think about. But I will say it definitely helped that he was in my purple single eyeshadows and not my like green or yellow or orange, because definitely those are a little bit more closer to my heart. So that definitely helped me to remain calm. That's pretty. Definitely not as dark as I want it to go. So I'm going to tap into Mardi Gras with the same brush, and we're going to tap it on top just to see what the two kind of do together. So yeah, I try my best to kind of remain calm. I'm going just back and forth between the two colors as I talk, but I definitely don't always succeed. But I'm also, I think, just more of a laid-back individual. I feel like growing up, my mom, you know, definitely kind of showed me that as I was growing up, because she kind of held on to things lightly, you know, like material things very lightly, because, you know, she had 10 children, still has a bunch of young ones they've adopted over the years. So things break a lot in the house, and I remember over the years, you know, even sentimental things that she had as a kids, there would be that one child, you know, it survived all of us, and then that one child would just, something happened and they would break it, and instead of like being so worked up over it, she'd be like, oh, lots of memories, but it's just things, like, you know, as long as it wasn't something done on purpose or for malice, they're only things and it's okay. So I just remember that growing up a lot. So as I've gotten, you know, married and older and have my own kids, I just try to remember that with all of my like physical things, and especially with my makeup. And I'm sure not to make it sound like I'm just like so perfect over here, or just able to not hold on to things, but I do know, you know, keep in mind I have a very large collection, so I'm sure that helps me not get too broken up when one or two things get destroyed by my children. But, you know, over the years with my makeup collection, I feel like each kid, there's always something, some makeup item that bites the dust with them, some more than others. I feel like Olivia, my oldest, and then my third child, Levi, have destroyed more things. I don't remember Gideon destroying that many things. But I guess with Gideon, most of his kind of like mischievous age, we were at the other house that we just moved from a couple months ago, and my makeup area was like in the closet, and I just remember doing my makeup a lot more often when they were all asleep in the mornings. But with me being pregnant with this 4th pregnancy, I often get ready like this when the kids are all awake. My 2 oldest are coloring, and then this guy is hanging out with me, so things tend to get a little bit more destroyed. Like right now he's opening some, thankfully he can't destroy it too much, but something that I just purchased that has a wrapping around it. It's like a cleaning equipment for my camera, so I don't think he can hurt it, so I'm just letting him do it. And there's also some things at times that I'm just like, it might be a higher price to pay for silence, but in the moment it's worth it for me to pay that price to have the silence to film and do a video like this. Okay, so I did those two together. I like how that looks. The blue and the purple definitely got more depth. I definitely want to do orange, probably in the inner crease. I think that'd be pretty, and then I'll do pink on the outer edge just to blend out this purple. I feel like that'll be really pretty. This thing is squeaky. Not my favorite. Okay, I'm just gonna take this G415 brush from Gimme Glow and dip it into Flamingo. That's a very bright pink, so we'll tap that off. So anyway, I think that kind of answered the question, but yeah, I just tried to remind myself it's just makeup. It was repressing and whatnot. Just makeup. Yeah, just makeup.
Clean up.
Clean up. Are you cleaning up?
Yeah.
Thank you, Levi. Yeah, please clean it all up so that I don't lose any of the things in there, okay?
Clean up.
Yep, gotta clean up. Come on, everybody. Clean up. Tidy up. That's it. Tidy up. That is a Bubble Guppy song. It was one about tidying up. My favorite episode. So anyway, and also too, I think at the end of that video, after I kind of made that comment, you can hear him, you can hear water running, and he was actually at the sink. Like, he stopped what he was doing. I told, you know, I cut it out, but I told him to stop what he's doing and go wash his hands because he had purple all over. And I mean, the biggest thing I was kind of upset about is that I have 2 different pieces of like carpet in my room to try to catch makeup, and he was right next to it on the actual like carpet in the closet, and he'd spilled all that purple. So I'm like, really? Like, I had 2 pieces of, you know, carpet things to catch it, make sure I don't stain this carpet, and you went right beside it to do this with purple. That was the thing I was most like, oh my gosh, get it, Levi. But anyway, the reason I was able to so calmly finish the video is because I had him put the palette away, and he was off washing his hands at the sink right here that I could see. So I had my eye on him. Yeah, I just try to remember that they're all just things. Most of them, especially makeup, is, you know, most of the stuff I have is replaceable. I think with kids at the age like 2 to 3, I guess like 1.5, 2 to 3. I hope that's not super distracting, but they get super, you know, mischievous, not mischievous, but just curious, and they're always into things and whatnot. So I kind of expect each kid to have, like I said, something that bites the dust. Okay, so that's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and add that orange, which there's Carnival and Tango. I'm gonna do this one. It's the more bright one. But then the next question is from Emily D. Tips for getting through the first trimester, please. I'm gonna take the B1 from Blend Bunny. This is a fantastic little brush. I've done it 4 times now. Definitely for me, depending on the gender, it's like easier or harder. But still, regardless, I'm still someone who goes through the first trimester into the second trimester always just battling with nausea and throwing up, and just intense tiredness. But mostly it's the nausea, the no appetite but needing to eat, and then the struggle to keep food down in the morning. That's always my biggest struggle. But my boys, my 2 pregnancy with my boys have definitely been the hardest. So for me, if anyone asked me, I would say the boys have been the hardest. Okay, so at this point, let me pause real quick. I think I'm going to use this green, Galactic Gala, and then Cosmic Cabaret, these two on my lid. I think that'll be pretty. And I am not going to use a primer just to see, or like a glitter primer, tacky base, just to see how it works. So anyway, where was I? I think the biggest thing for me when it comes to like how to survive it is definitely like a mindset thing. As you know, as like lame as that sounds, it's like, no, give me something I can do. So like with my previous pregnancies, I kind of went into it going like, oh, I'm going to try all these things and hopefully it won't be so bad. But maybe it's the whole like 4th time's a charm. Going into this pregnancy, I was like, nah, it's going to be bad. It's just going to be bad and you're just going to have to cope, Katie. So I think that definitely helped with not kind of settling into like any type of really down and depression when it came to the first trimester. I definitely had those moments with my previous pregnancies of where I would just get so, honestly, so sad, and just kind of like I would hit this kind of like not even halfway through, like a couple weeks in, around like 9 weeks I feel like, and I would just be so miserable, crying and being like, I can't do this anymore, I can't do this anymore. And not to say that it didn't hit some lows with this pregnancy, but they definitely weren't as low as my previous pregnancies. And they were a little bit more short term as far as like just the crying spell and feeling like I can't do it. So that definitely helped. Also too, I'm sure something that helped is just having children. You know, they need to be taken care of. So it's kind of like, I always wondered, I remember after my first one, I was like, Mom, how did you do it? You know, being pregnant and going through nausea with us. Like, that just seemed so hard to me after my first one because of how hard and how like I would just like live in my bed with my first pregnancy for the first half of it. And she told me like, well, when you have no other choice, you just do. And also too, I had help, so if you can at all have help. I had my sisters every other weekend maybe, and sometimes it was like every weekend, but they would come and stay because we go to the same church together. So on Sundays, my husband would usually bring one of my sisters, my younger sisters, back, and then they would stay for like 2 days, and that was really such a blessing because they would help cook, clean, they'd help me do like the deep cleaning that I couldn't get done, and that made such a world of difference. I remember with my second son, I was in Virginia and I had 2 of my sisters come and fly up to help out when I was sick, and oh my goodness, night and day difference once they were there, just having someone else help with, you know, not only just, you know, helping with the kids, maybe just playing with them when you felt, you know, you were when I was stuck in the bathroom, you know, throwing up and whatnot, but also just helping with the, you know, cleaning the toilets and stuff that was so hard to do when you're just so nauseous, you can't bend over without wanting to throw up. That helped a lot. But anyway, I feel like I'm getting sidetracked. What helped? I definitely think, and this, like, talk to your doctor. I talked to my doctor. Okay, let me finish out the lower lash line while I try to finish out this question. I'm just gonna take a combination of the blue and the purple, and then this lighter purple on my lower lash line. So anyway, Unisum at night, and actually during the day I didn't take Unisum. I used to with previous pregnancies take it, but Unisum, if you don't know, is like a sleep aid, and so I hated how tired it made me during the day, which just made it very difficult to take care of children, if you know what I mean. So with this pregnancy, I actually just broke up B6s and took them 3 times throughout the day, and my doctor was telling me that like the B6 really helps kind of give you a little kick of energy and just like help fight the nausea type of thing. So I took B6 3 times throughout the day. Once when I woke up, as soon as I woke up, halfway kind of around lunchtime, and then right before bed, and that definitely helped. Like I felt like it definitely made a difference, and I didn't feel like I needed the Unisum during the day to help with the nausea, which again I really liked because again it's so hard to try to make it through the day when you're taking like a sleep aid and expecting to stay up. So that was definitely like hard for me with the first and the third pregnancy when I would take that. So I really enjoyed and preferred just kind of taking the Unisum at night to help me sleep, because it definitely, for me, sleep is a huge factor with how nauseous I am. Even now, I'm at 38 weeks pregnant as I'm filming this. If I don't sleep well, and I suffer from insomnia during the latter half of my pregnancy, and if I don't get good sleep, like, oh my goodness, I feel so nauseous the next day and just miserable. So it's the same for me for the beginning of pregnancy, even more so. If I don't get good sleep, the next day I feel a lot more nauseous. And I'm someone like at the first trimester into the second trimester, I go to sleep at like 8:30. As soon as my kids were in bed, I would go to sleep. I wouldn't even bother with dishes or anything, putting the house away, nothing. I wouldn't put the house to sleep at all. I'd do all that during the day. and then as soon as the kids were asleep, I would just crash. So that's definitely would be one way of like seeing if your body responds well to getting more rest, to see if that affects your nausea, because it's definitely for me something that I notice with every single pregnancy, boy, girl, doesn't matter. If I am not getting enough rest, I feel miserable. Okay, I really like how this turned out. My camera's flashing at me, so I need to go and replace the battery. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause here, and I'm gonna do mascara and liner, and I'm gonna think on anything else that I did to help with the nausea and whatnot. So anyway, let me go and put liner on, put mascara on, and then we can use the rest of the stuff Kaleidos sent me for cheek products, highlighter, lip products, all that sort of thing. So be right back. I forgot to do an inner corner highlight, so I'm gonna take this one right there. Another thing that helped with the nausea, ooh, that's so pretty, was I tried drinking like a protein drink first thing in the morning, like before I even got out of bed and kind of got moving, because motion definitely on an empty stomach first trimester would make me very nauseous, and I would just like dry heave a bunch. So I tried drinking that, and it didn't work like a charm. Like, I never threw up. Okay, for my contour, this is a blush. I know it's a blush, but I wanted to see if it'll work for a contour. This is in Joyride. I don't think it has a name anywhere on it. That's interesting. But anyway, it kind of looks like a contour, so I'm gonna try it and see if it works as one. I'm gonna use this big fluffy brush. But anyway, yeah, doing the protein drink definitely helped, and that was something new I did this pregnancy that I never did before. And it's definitely something I'll repeat. I wanna say when I hit like 15, 16, no, it wasn't 15, it was probably closer to 20 weeks pregnant, all of a sudden that actually made me throw up in the morning. So like I would go and take it, and then I was throwing up more, and I was just like, why am I doing this? This has always worked. And then I just kind of stopped doing that, and I switched to a little bit of Cheerios with milk first thing in the morning, and that worked. So there was definitely a point where the whole trick of like drinking a protein drink in the morning to kind of get going, get some protein in my body, just stopped working for me for whatever reason. But for the hardest part of my nausea, it definitely helps. So that would be my recommendation, some type of, you know, protein drink, because my preference was chocolate. But it just made it easy to get some protein, because that's definitely something for me with my pregnancies that I have learned after, now we're on number 4, is that protein definitely helps my nausea not be as bad. So that's always my focus, especially in the beginning, but even at the end of the pregnancy. If I don't have enough protein during the day, I can feel it, because I'll still feel very nauseous. Oh, I forgot they sent me 2 brushes. So one's a blush brush, and this is a highlighter. So I'm gonna use the blush. Let's go ahead and let me pick one. I think that worked really nice as a contour. Maybe it is a contour shade, I don't know. But let's go ahead and let me see what this one looks like. Again, I don't know where the name is on the box, like on the actual thing, but the box says Sunburnt. We're gonna try an orange blush. So that was another recommendation. Also, like they have candies you can suck on. I don't do those too often. It's a good temporary relief, and especially like if I had to go out and like do errands with the kids, I would definitely bring that. Or like if I had a doctor's appointment, I'd bring that to survive. But I didn't opt for it too much, because like I said, sugar didn't make me feel great, especially with my boy pregnancies. I didn't crave sugar, and sugar didn't make me feel good, so I just avoided it. With my girl pregnancies, I crave sugar, and it still doesn't make me feel good, so that's always a harder aspect. But, oh, that's pretty. I'm very light on blush. Keep that in mind. It's nicely pigmented, though. I went super light-handed. I feel like whenever I use blush, you can't really see it on camera, but I see it in person, and that's always like enough for me. I don't go overboard with my blush. Okay, highlighter. I don't know what I want to do. I have, what is this called? Ray Rider, Mars Melter, Prophecy, and Gifted. I feel like I want to use Gifted, because I feel like everyone's talked about how like special that is. Let me see. I think it has some red in there. Maybe, let me see what Prophecy. Maybe if it has a little more like red purple, it would go with my eye look a little bit better. No, it's more like a yellow. It reminds me of Halo from Give Me Glow. Let me see what this one, Mars Melter. Maybe that's the red one. Oh yeah, definitely red. I don't want to use that today though, because I am going to the store. You know what? I'm going to use Ray Rider, because I asked for Ray Rider because it looked like the most normal. Like they have a lot of special, almost like special intense type of highlighters, but I wanted to try one of their just like normal highlighters, and this one looked like it, so I'm going to use this today. I'm sorry if that's boring. Ooh, oh my goodness, that's intense, but it's very smooth, which I like in a highlighter. I like my highlighters to be, you know, kind of smooth, almost invisible, straight on, but then you turn and it's like wham. That's my preference when it comes to highlighter. Though I do like a fun one. But I like this texture. It's not super glittery or, you know, stand out on the skin, but it's still pretty intense. Okay, last up is lips. So I have all of these. I think these are nudes. I'll probably opt for that. And then I have from their last collection, these are more like berries. One's like a peach. This is from like their, I think it was their like, the collection that was kind of black and white. Yeah, these, it's like a deep berry, a deep kind of red berry, brown, and then a very light apricot. So I think I'm gonna grab one of these because these are all neutral. That's why I asked for them, because they were more like brownie neutral, which it tends to be. You guys know me, I'm boring. Let me just grab this one. I have no idea. This looks like a good one. This is called, and this is in the shade Adobe. Yeah, Adobe. Anyway, I did not answer many questions in this video. We are tidying up a lot. But, oh, it feels so nice when you put your lips together. It's not set. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be non-transferring, but oh my goodness, it feels nice. It's very moussey. But when you put your lips together, it almost just feels like a, kind of like a matte finish type of lipstick. I'm gonna leave my lips apart now and let it set to see if it actually like goes to non-transferring. But let's see, any other, let me reread her question because I at least want to answer this one fully before we close. Tips for getting through the first trimester. So yeah, Unisum and B6 is like, using them together is like a type of nausea medication. So I just buy them separate and then I ask my doctor like the amount and dosage for each and the time frame. And like I said, I really preferred that because I didn't have to, like I opted not to take so much of the Unisum and take more of the B6, which I think helped just as much as the Unisum, and I wasn't tired during the day. And then drinking a protein drink first thing in the morning. Oh, that was the other thing. I definitely think it makes a difference if I ate tiny little meals scattered throughout the day instead of just like trying to eat something in the morning and get a breakfast in and then going an hour or two. Instead of that, I would drink the protein drink, wake up and do things for like an hour, and then I would get like a little pile of like a handful of trail mix, eat that for a bit, and then like maybe 30 minutes, an hour later, I would eat popcorn. That was another good one because I could eat it very slowly. So like tiny meals, an hour or so apart, definitely helps more so than taking like trying to eat almost a normal size meal or even just a small meal and then wait an hour or two. I would just get so nauseous and feeling bad by the end. So I tried to break it up and just take like a handful of something to eat. So yeah, that's definitely my other high recommendation, is just to take like a handful. And like I said, I think popcorn and then the protein drinks, because you don't have to like feel like you have to finish it. I would take a, you know, drink half of the protein drink and then I'd wait a bit and, you know, read to the kids or get them breakfast and then I'd sip on the rest of it. Or I'd make popcorn and I'd eat it very slowly throughout the course of like 2-3 hours, or I'd eat just a little bit and then my kids would finish it and I make another one later. So little things like that definitely helped for me and my nausea. But yeah, I think those are all my tips. Mindset, and I think for me personally, maybe not for everyone, but for me personally, just like being like, I'm gonna feel bad, let's just survive it. And instead of, in my previous pregnancies, I was more so the mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna try these things and I won't feel as sick, so it won't be as bad and it'll be great. And then I got into the pregnancy and I was like, oh my goodness, this is terrible, like it's just as bad, I feel like I'm dying. And then I would have a really like just bad mindset from day to day, which is not fun when you're trying to survive morning sickness. Protein drinks, B6 and Unisum, and getting lots of sleep. And just, you know, if I didn't sleep well the night before, I tried to take a nap. Sleep definitely helps. And, you know, the candies if you need to. And then my last one being tiny meals very frequently, like tiny little snacks very frequently throughout the day, was much better than a few meals that were a little bit larger or just like, you know, more normal. Like literally when my family would sit down to dinner and would eat their meal, I would have like this much on my plate and I just eat a little bit, and then later I'd go back and get more and have to heat it up, and it was always a annoying ordeal, but it helped me survive. So let me get some close-ups and we can close out this video. All right, so this is the finished look. I'm sure you're gonna hear a lot of commotion because my kids are done coloring and they're just coming in and out. So I'm gonna close out this video as quickly as I can, but that is the completed makeup look and my first impressions I tried to like chat about as we went along. Eyeshadow palette, definitely like no complaints with, I mean, the shimmers are beautiful. They're a little transparent, like thin in the color pigmentation, but they have a lot of sparkle. And then the mattes I thought all blended out beautifully. Some of the mattes, like I wish there was more depth. And then the two oranges, it's like very close together, but I feel like those are critiques you guys have already heard. The lipstick. It does dry down like non-transferring, and it feels so comfortable on my lips. I can't wait to wear it the rest of the day. I'm gonna go out and run to the store, see how it wears as I'm eating and whatnot, but right now it is so comfortable. I almost don't feel it on my lips. Like, it doesn't feel like I have lipstick, so I'm excited for this formula to continue testing it. Blushes, very, very nice. Very happy with them. I like that I can use that one blush, I think is a blush, for kind of just a very light bronze and whatnot, but blends out nicely. And I love what was that, Ray Ryder. I like how blinding it looks as I turn my head and how shiny it is, but like straight on, it doesn't give me any texture. It doesn't have any kind of like sparkle glitter to it or anything like that. So if you like that type of highlighter, definitely not one. But if you're someone who just likes a really good type of highlighter that isn't too textured, like doesn't emphasize texture, doesn't, you know, look super glittery on your face, it's definitely a good like normal but blinding highlight. The eyeshadow primer I can't really speak to because I'm gonna have to continue trying it. The brushes, honestly not the biggest fan. I mean, the highlighter brush I do like. Not the biggest fan of the blush brush. It's just like an awkward size and shape and whatnot, but it worked well. And then what else? I think that's about it. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but oh, the lip mask. I'm gonna continue trying it, but it felt really nice on my lips as I was going through the video. So that is gonna do it. Again, I'm so sorry I only hit 2 questions from my community tab, but we'll get to the rest in my Odin's Eye and Yvette Beauty videos, and hopefully be able to finish it out during those 2. And I hope you guys just enjoy these type of laid back videos where I kind of reminisce and just talk about being pregnant, mommying, and all that type of thing. So yeah, with that said, as always, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92 over there. I post reels, up close eye swatches, all that sort of thing. And with that said, we'll see you in my next video. Want to wave bye?
Yeah. Bye.
Bye! Bye, guys.